Hello, welcome to Comfortable Shoes Studio. This is another episode of art making, and in this episode, I'm going to look at another new product that is similar but different to one of my favorite new products, and that's these poster paint sticks or tempera sticks. Um, these are made in China by a company called Happy Dough. I reviewed these ones already. I'm in love with these things. Um, I saw these pop up, and these are by a brand I've looked at before, Mungyo, which is a Korean company that has made watercolor crayons. And I picked these up because they were described as really similar to these, but bigger and a little different. So we're going to look at these. We're going to do a little swatching today. So I've been working on this, and let's get a nice blank page here and open these bad boys up. Um, so these are Ice Cream by Mungyo, line chalk pen removal highlighter, 2 white, 1 yellow, 1 pink. It's a bunch of stuff in Korean on here. I don't know what any of it says. Let's get Google Translate out. And where's Translate? Probably should have set this up in advance. I'm gonna go from Korean to English. We're gonna use the camera. Ooh, okay. Classroom, floor, gym, auditorium, floor, drum, window. What's that line down there? Line chalk pen. So these are being billed as chalk. Do not use for skin or makeup. Do not put in mouth. Not for children under 3. Wash your hands. Keep away from fire. Don't cut or scratch. Okay. It doesn't really easy to write on the floor and erase. So it's basically an erasable chalk in stick form. We've seen these before. I did some Dollar Tree stuff, and so there are 2 yellow and pink, and then 2 white. All right, let's see how these feel. They have a funky odor. Let's see. These are really fat in comparison. Smooth and creamy like the others. That's nice. This is a really fat one. I could see these being used for tagging things if you were so inclined. I see a lot of paint stick tags in my community. I think that's because I have art students around me. So it does, ooh, that's nice. This feels like a gelato, but very stiff. If you know, does that make sense? Like gelatos really smear and move easily. These feel stiffer. It's like a slightly harder to move gelato. Let's see how it responds. I'm going to just do the pink with water. It's actually quite nice. Again, this paper, I know I complain about it, does not stand up well. This is a Amazon special. sketchbook. It does well with a lot of things, but does not do well with wet media pretty consistently. All right, so those are pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, we do have to test. We got to test how opaque they are. All right, just a little scribble. I'm going to hit that with a heat gun so it's dry and I'm not smearing it. I don't have high hopes for either of the highlighter colors to be all that opaque. So that's a pretty heavy coat of the yellow, and mostly we can see right, yeah, you can see right through it. And even though that was dry, it did lift it a little bit. Let's see the pink. Same deal. Even though that was heat dried, it did lift that ink. All right. Let's check out the white. See how opaque the white's going to be. It's not all that opaque. It is, apparently I wrote pretty, it's more opaque than I would have given it credit for. I did put on a pretty heavy duty coat of this, so that might be what's going on. I am going to, so the pink is now feels dry, and some of the yellow does too. I'm going to hit this with a heat gun because I think this stuff might dry pretty quickly. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's dry. And that's not completely dry. It does have actually quite a chalky texture. And I want to test and see if I can re-wet it. And yes, we can. So very re-wettable. So this reminds me of a drier, creamier version of the dollar store chalk markers that I picked up a while back. I've talked about those on here before. Yeah, I don't know. You can't see the white on camera, but I can see it, and it is pretty good. So yeah, these are very similar to these, but way more rewettable. So if you're looking for something to get like some big bold neon colors, to kind of supplement these, this might be kind of fun. I'm actually looking forward to like using these. I really love neon colors. Neon colors are some of my favorite colors to use. I haven't used them much recently, but neons usually do feature pretty heavily in my art journal pages or have in the past. And I'm pretty excited to check these out. They are very big. They are oversized, clearly, for this journal. I'm gonna make a background page here with these, and we're gonna see like what happens with a kind of make some panels here. I'm hooked on panels, and I realized panels are not a new way of working for me. Some of my earliest art journals were done in panels, but I didn't call them panels at the time. I just looked at them and I would write in a small square in my art journal, or I would draw in a small square in my art journal, and then I would make boxes um, around the writing and around the art, and I would then, um, you know, box it up, add watercolors. So these blend pretty nicely, that's for sure. So I don't really think this is how they're intended to be used, but I don't, I don't really care about how things are intended to be used. Um, add a little white. The white has a, actually they all have kind of a funky kind of odor. Um, get some blending going here. So areas where it's on thinly have dried a little bit. Trying to spread that out a little bit. All right, so that'll dry. But what I do want to try here, here's my Uniball Bold, and we're going to see how it writes over this. Not great. So I don't know, the greasiness means that it doesn't write over well. If you add water, the Uniball writes over it fine. But where you have heavy application with no water added, it just skips over the top of it. But we have a solution for that, an acrylic paint marker. And this might not write well over it either. Nope. And I can see, you probably can't on camera, what the problem is. The scratchiness of this particular paint marker means that it picks up the line chalk pen, or marker rather, and is filling up the feed of the paint marker. So you're getting that weird brushy fibery thing that happens. What I do see is if I use a very light hand, it kind of doesn't, it still scratches it, but not nearly as much. So up here where I've, yeah, so if you use a really light hand, you can write over the top of it with the paint marker. But let me see, I've got a bullet tip. I'm going to use this one in a minute, so we're going to see how. All right, there's a bullet tip. So a bullet tip let's see this. So what I'm seeing with this is the fiber tip also picks up the paint. So you get a little color mixy-mixy. So these do take a bit longer to dry than this. Generally speaking, with these, the poster paint sticks, they are dry on paper within a minute or two. You're not moving them. I can feel that these are still a little greasy over here. If I hit it with a heat gun, that this page will be dry pretty quickly. So that's to be considered. Like, I'm gonna hit it with the heat gun and see how it changes things. Okay, that's feeling pretty dry there. So I'm gonna do this. Yeah, still too greasy for the Uniball Signo. You can just see it skipping all over the place. I'm gonna go over that with the orange. These are in the way now. So, all right, the paint marker is doing okay. The fiber tip, the typical paint marker is doing all right. Oh, you know what we didn't try? We didn't try a classic Bic. We'll try that. I suspect this one will be fine. Yeah. Okay. So once it's dry, the paint markers seem to do okay. Of course, now it starts to skip. I think that's just because I've run out of, yeah. So these little fine paint markers, once you get the tips filled up with crap, they have problems. All right, let's see this Bic. Actually, the Bic does okay. So this is a Bic Extra Bold. What is it? A 1.6 millimeter. It's their fat, smooth Bic. Not generally my favorites. Bic tend to like the thinner ones a little bit. All right, the Bic is the way to go for drawing on top of this, I think. Let's see how it does here. Oh yeah, okay. Bic. So we'll go into this with the Bic and do some drawing in a minute. All right. That's the first look at the Ice Cream by Mungyo line chalk pen removal highlighter. Basically, it's a fat kind of water soluble tempera stick or chalk stick that wipes away pretty easily. Again, it reminds me a lot of the Dollar Tree chalk pens that I got. It was probably an episode a year or so back about those by the same company that does these watercolor crayons. But I think I'm going to have fun with these. Again, I'm just really into this style of um, poster paint stick thing. It's a lot different than a gelato. It dries faster. Obviously, the colors are different. They're significantly cheaper than a gelato too, and you get a lot more paint in the stick than I ever got with a gelato. So it'll give you that kind of gelato experience, but less greasy. This is more of a gelato than these are. I found that gelatos stayed pretty greasy on the page for a long time. And also, I didn't like that they re-wet. They were more of like a gouache stick than these are, because these don't re-wet easily depending on the paper. So yeah, that's my first look. I will definitely be working on this page as an example, and I'll add it to the end of the video and talk a little bit more about these. All right, catch you in a bit. All right, we're back to testing out the Ice Cream by Mungyo line chalk pen removal highlighter things. All right, even though they've been drying for a minute here, they still feel pretty greasy on the page. So I really think even with extra drying time, these are the only thing you're going to be able to write over these with will be the Bic. Well, without damaging stuff. I mean, obviously the paint marker is going to be able to go over the top of it. I also wonder how or if what collage is going to do. So we're gonna do a little collagey bit like so. Get some collage on there. glue that down like that. I'm gonna glue down with glue stick because that's my standard go-to for all of this. But I think I also want to try to glue down with some liquid glue. I'm going to use some non-standard glue for me. Glue that down there, that there. And why not? Since I got the collage out, might as well test another glue. And what did I do with my glue stick? Right there. I think I'm going to do that with a glue stick. And I am trying to put on an ample amount of glue stick here. There's that. And we're going to try this up here. And of course, the minute I sit down, my dog wants to come back in the house, and my partner is occupied. I gotta go get the dog in a moment here. All right, so we've got two types of glue. I'm gonna try a tape runner down in this section. I've found that tape runners are very touchy, persnickety. They don't like contamination. So we're going to test that out. All right. Let's see how that goes. Right there. All right. So I got a couple different types of glue. Looks like the glue stick is okay, except in like there's a slightly heavier. Well, I might have missed that. And the liquid glue's all right so far. Tape runner's all right so far as well. Okay. I'm really liking this stuff as a background, but if I have to use a Bic, it's much less useful to me than if I can just use my favorite. I'm going to try this again. Let's get a, yeah, I have to go back in with the Bic. Nope. Yeah, it's really unfortunate. So, as much as I like these, they are far less useful than the poster sticks because of their greasiness. Um, and I think the color is intense, the color is fun, but because they are not as drying as well as the tempera or poster sticks, um, I'll use them for other things for sure. Just not just not in this way. I think they'd be fine as like collage fodder. Glue stick's doing okay still. Had some time to dry. Yeah, the liquid glue is always good, and even the tape runner is removable, but I don't want to damage my page. Yeah, just far less useful than than the tempera sticks. Just due to the greasiness, but a fun color pattern for sure. Or color palette rather, not pattern. I really enjoy what's here and offered, but not as useful for me as the tempera sticks. Do I regret the purchase? No. I think they'll be. I'm gonna probably take them down to the free wall. My city has a free graffiti wall, and that just means that it is a wall that the building owners have made available for people to put graffiti on. Generally speaking, it is, artists go down and work on it, and um, they don't get paid to work on it. It's sort of like a rotating mural project. But it is now administered, there's a whole group dedicated to it. And because of that, it keeps um, sort of the bad graffiti off of it. The um, eggplants that kids usually go and put on buildings and things. Um, and other tags you don't necessarily want to see. No gang tags, none of that. Um, and the stuff is usually really pretty high quality art. I don't know why I did that. I have been anyway. All right. I think that's a good enough test. I want to hit it with the black, finish it up. So this paint marker is pretty much empty. I bought a 6-pack of these, I think. I don't know. I think it's good to have multiple of a material that you use all the time, like this. And like I said, I usually buy these by the 6-pack because I do use these a lot for stuff like this. So, all right. Fun product. Not particularly useful for me in my art journal because of the way that I do work in my art journal. Um, It does have a slightly greasy texture, which I think if you were using it as like a poster pen or you're doing some graffiti art that you don't necessarily want to be permanent, um, this is a fun choice for non-permanent work on a large scale. So, um, maybe you want to tag something, but not in a permanent kind of way because this will just wash right off. Um, I think the white is opaque enough that you could do some fun stuff with it. The other colors, I don't find it quite as opaque as I might want for um, working on walls or anything like that. I don't do a lot of work on walls per se, but I think these would be fun for that. Like if you have a free wall near you, you could do some fun stuff with this. I did test them on some cardboard, and they did pretty well on the cardboard in terms of opacity. You could really see the colors. They were muted and chalky looking on the cardboard. But yeah, anyway, I think you could have fun with them in certain ways, but not if you're going to work on top of them. I think these are like something that you would use maybe in conjunction with a tempera paint stick for some outdoor kind of work. Anyway, with that, thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you next time. Thanks and bye.